Thank you, Dr. Sumit, for the introduction. So I'll be talking on choroidal metastasis. So choroidal mets is the most common intraocular malignancy in adults. It presents with blurred vision most commonly, but it can also present with flashes, floaters, or metamorphosia when the foveal there is subretinal fluid accumulation right under the fovea. So this is one of the largest series of patients with uveal metastasis, which was published by Dr. Shields et al., the group from Wills Eye Institute. And in their study, they found that of all the uveal metastasis, 92% was found in choroid and the rest in ciliary body and iris. The predisposition for choroidal metastasis as compared to any other intraocular structure can be explained by the choroidal blood flow, which has a luxurious blood supply. See, as in this graph, you can compare the blood flow to the retina, which is just 25 ml per minute per 100 gram. Brain, which we think is a very vascular structure, the blood flow is 75 ml per minute per 100 gram. And as compared to these two structures, you can see the choroidal blood supply is very, very high, and it is to the tune of 1000 to 2000 ml per minute per 100 gram. So this luxurious blood supply provides a very good avenue for the embolus from the primary tumor to get sequestered within the choroidal channels and provides an environment where they can further proliferate. So among all the primary tumors that metastasize to choroid, breast carcinoma is the most common, followed by lung carcinoma, kidney, GI, prostate, and thyroid. And if you talk about sex-wise ratio, amongst males, lung carcinoma is the most common tumor to metastasize to the choroid, whereas in females, it is the breast carcinoma. So at the time of diagnosis of choroidal metastasis, the primary cancer is known prior to the choroidal metastasis diagnosis in about 2/3 of the patients. But in about 17% of the patients, the choroidal mets is the first symptom of any primary tumor. In about 16% of the patients, the primary cancer is never found or is cryptic. So most commonly, the choroidal metastasis is unilateral and unifocal. In some cases, up to 20%, it can be bilateral. And again, in some cases, it can be multifocal, and as many as 20 to 30 tumors can be found per eye. In general, lung carcinoma tends to be unilateral and unifocal, and breast carcinoma tends to be bilateral and multifocal. So going by the color, we recognize the choroidal mets by way of color, which can help us indicate what the primary tumor site is. So when the choroidal mets is yellow, that means the primary tumor is likely to be breast, lung, GI, prostate, or the esophagus. When the choroidal mets is brown, the most common primary site is cutaneous melanoma or melanoma of the contralateral eye. When the choroidal mets is orange, the likely primary tumor site is carcinoid, which can be lung carcinoid or any other systemic organ. It can be thyroid CA or renal cell carcinoma. On ultrasound, choroidal metastasis is typically echo dense as compared to choroidal melanoma, which tends to be acoustically hollow. And typically, the choroidal mets is associated with a large amount of subretinal fluid. On OCT, we typically describe the choroidal mets as lumpy, bumpy deposit, which is the contour that is produced by the uneven surface of the choroidal mets. So the most common differential diagnosis is amelanotic melanoma, choroidal granuloma, and choroidal hemangioma. So the diagnosis of choroidal mets can be arrived at by carefully examining the patient by establishing whether the tumor is unilateral, bilateral, multifocal, or unifocal, and with the help of all the ancillary testing, including FA, where typically the choroidal mets, as compared to choroidal melanoma, there is dilated retinal capillaries. On ultrasound, like I've already mentioned, the choroidal mets is echodense, whereas choroidal melanoma is acoustically hollow. EDI OCT also is very typical of choroidal mets with lumpy, bumpy deposit. if there is any further doubt, we generally do an MRI scan or a fine needle aspiration biopsy, which helps in concreting the diagnosis. So once this diagnosis of choroidal Mets is established, how would you further manage the patient? Now that depends on whether the primary tumor is already diagnosed or yet to be diagnosed in the patient. So the way to go about this is, once you diagnose choroidal Mets, look for the primary tumor. If the patient is already diagnosed with the primary tumor and is on treatment, then wait for the response for the therapy to act on the choroidal Mets. If there is good response, then you do nothing. There is no separate management for choroidal Mets. So just continue to follow up, hoping that the systemic therapy would also heal the choroidal Mets. However, if the choroidal Mets is showing a poor response to systemic therapy, then you have to give a separate treatment for choroidal Mets. That can be plaque radiotherapy, EBRT, TTT, or proton beam radiotherapy. So at the time of detecting choroidal Mets, if the patient was already diagnosed and treated for primary tumor and the tumor was regressed, then you refer the patient to a medical oncologist to look for the activity of the primary tumor, whether the primary tumor is reactivated or not, or you get a PET CT done. So if there is no reactivation of the primary tumor and there is no other tumor but only choroidal Mets, then again you treat the choroidal Mets with plaque radiotherapy, EBRT, TTT, or proton beam radiotherapy. However, if the primary tumor is reactivated or there is multi-system involvement, depending upon the number of systems involved, either you can initiate systemic therapy or you counsel the patient for palliative therapy under the care of a medical oncologist. Now, at the time of detection of choroidal Mets, if the primary tumor is not known, again, you follow the same algorithm where you refer the patient to a medical oncologist to look for a primary or get a PET scan done. And if there is multi-system involvement, initiate systemic therapy or palliative therapy under the care of a medical oncologist. However, even after PET scan or further test, if the primary tumor continues to remain cryptic, that means we do not know the site of the primary tumor, you then try to salvage the eye by treating the choroidal Mets, either by plaque radiotherapy, EBRT, TTT, or proton beam radiotherapy. However, one must know that despite any form of treatment, the average survival of a patient with uveal metastasis is about 21 months. And this is much lower in patients where the primary tumor is pancreas, where they do not generally survive beyond 4 to 5 months. And the survival is longest in whom the primary tumor is lung carcinoid, where they survive for an average about 60 months. We must know that choroidal metastasis tends to appear late in the course of malignancy. That means it is almost a part of the end stage disease of any cancer. And this is generally associated with disseminated disease and has much poor prognosis. Thank you.